Starting a band can be hard, but it's so important to find ways to add to the world we live in. Jane Herring, Luke Parise, Alex Detweiler, Christian Koleksinski, and Hayden Christensen have all found a way to add to the gumbo with their band. Sheetz Run, an up-and-coming band in an up-and-coming new movement called Fifth Wave Emo. Each person has a bit to add to the quintuplet.
Okay. Hi, I'm Luke. I'm a senior music major here at IUP, and I play guitar and I sing for Sheetz Run.
I'm Jane. I go to school IUP for music, and I'm in two bands. The bands are Wasted Space, which is based in Pittsburgh, and Sheetz Run, which is based here at IUP.
I'm Alex Detweiler. I play guitar, I play bass, I play guitar, I play bass, I play drums. I play whatever Luke tells me I need to play. Christian knows bass, Christian can play a little bit of trumpet, Christian's a drummer, so that's utility. Hayden knows guitar, Hayden can play bass, Hayden can play drums, bring him in, you know. Well, Luke's like the guy, it's pretty obvious. Looks like the guy. He writes a lot of stuff because he is like our good guitar player. Like Luke kills the guitar. Then Jane is like a super badass drummer all the time. Christian is like, you know, at car dealerships, they have those big noodle guys with the air flanker, so they do this. Yeah, that's Christian. Hayden is quiet. Period. No, he's funny. Hayden's a funny character.
The band is part of a musical movement that began in 2018, the newest fifth wave of emo music, featuring a hard edge with some jazzy and DIY punk influences, to name a few. While seemingly esoteric in nature, it's a genre that's accessible to many, namely college-age students, young adults, and teens in Rust Belt towns like Indiana, PA.
Or it's also kind of been referred to as Midwest emo, which is the more common term. Really kind of sad rock in a way. Not a lot of like screaming, not a lot of, heavy guitars, just a lot of like sad songs, but also not indie. There's like kind of a jazz tone to it. There's still the punk kind of like vibes to it. But it's definitely not, anything hardcore. And I think that's kind of a really weird niche genre. And that's kind of what I want to bring to the table. And I think that's kind of what we as a band are trying to, that's the kind of sound that we want to have, just because it's so like unique.
Like many other similar bands, Sheetz Run members met and formed through their experience at college together.
Yeah, Sheetz Run was through school, except one of the members is on the drum line, and so he's friends with like the other members. But he's really cool, and now we're all friends.
For like 2 years, we threw around the idea of like, oh, we should start a band, and then we just didn't. And then finally we were like, okay, we're starting a band. So we started a band, and then Christian and Hayden came into the studio this year, and Christian came into the studio this year, Hayden joined the drumline this year, and we said, hey.
Jane and Alex, they're two of my closest friends. Alex is one of my roommates, so it just kind of like made sense, all three of us being musicians, to just kind of make a band. It's one of those things where we kind of, never brought it up, and then one day someone was like, hey, we should do that, and I was like, oh, well, duh, yeah, let's do that.
It's not just hanging out with friends, however. Writing and recording the music while searching for gig opportunities is a lot on top of school, and some have other duties as well.
If I didn't have to deal with school, then I could handle it, but for me, I have to drive to Pittsburgh if I want to play with Wasted Space and practice, so it's also an additional 2 hours of my day just spent driving.
Luckily, Luke Parise has stepped up to keep everything organized.
I don't want to be the guy. Like, I don't want this to be the Luke Parise band. And I think I've kind of just taken up that role just because I'm probably the most experienced in that role. I'm trying to balance being a manager, but also leaving everything up to the other bandmates.
When Sheetz Run finally had the opportunity to play a show, they decided to do a dry run at a house show near IUP's campus.
I was horrified. And I have been performing music for 10 years.
Playing at the house show probably was the best idea that was brought up to us, just because we really needed that experience.
The show, although we started and it was just a rush, you know? I felt like that show lasted like 5 minutes. I think our set was 30. So,
for now, Sheetz Run is looking forward to a productive winter break between classes. They're hoping to release another EP featuring at least 3 new songs.
Our next milestone would be recording and releasing our next EP. We're trying to get that done over winter break. So there's only so many times, someone will listen to a given song. And I feel like our audience, could use a couple new ones.
Sheetz Run is looking forward to a new, productive year. Will the next new college band come from IUP? Only time will tell.